This whole situation with Kimberly literally hiding that she had two other kids from Jamal has come as one hell of a shock. Arguably even the biggest shock of 90-day history, the biggest secret of 90-day history. And the funny thing about it is that it has nothing to do with the concept of 90 days. But let's get into it, because you see, since this has happened, people just can't stop but to keep talking about the situation, about how they would handle it, how it would make them feel, and more. So let's get into exactly what was said here in this post, okay? This person says, I am shocketh, Kimberly. I don't even know what shocketh means, but anyway, that's a word. So this person says, I am speechless about Kimberly's news that she has 3 children. I get that we don't really know someone on a reality show, but still, I am shocketh. Crazy if she really kept it from Jamal all this time, unless that part is just for a storyline. Now listen, here's the thing, folks. I don't believe it's a storyline. But even if it was a storyline, who the hell would agree to this as a storyline? Because this is crazy type of behavior. So that's why for me personally, I'm more inclined to believe that this is not a storyline and this is more or less the truth. Okay. And don't get me wrong, I know we've seen some very interesting storylines over the years where we've been like, but who would agree to that storyline? Out of all storylines to agree to, this is not one that I don't think anybody would actually want to agree with. So that's why, again, I do believe that this whole information that's coming out is generally true. But people have chimed in with their own thoughts and their own opinions. This person says she looks great here. She's come a long way from her jet black hair plus Soulja Boy t-shirt leggings. Anyways, I know several vets who put their children up for adoption, or child. I think you have to be very self-aware, knowing you cannot give the child the life and love they deserve. I honestly don't blame her for keeping it a secret. I don't blame her for not telling Larry the first time meeting him. However, I absolutely blame her and hate the idea that she's going to televise telling him. So this is where I strongly disagree with this person. Now, first and foremost, I did not know that if you are in the service, if you're going to the army or anything like that, having children is something that just isn't allowed. But the reason why I disagree with this person's point of view is because, you see, Larry was just number 1. She had a daughter too that she also adopted. You know, it's one thing to learn from the first child. If this was just a Larry's situation, I'd understand why she gave up the child. But here's the thing though, folks. She didn't give up the child because of what this person is saying. It had nothing to do with her being in the service. Kim categorically said on the show the reason why she gave up Larry was because she was 21 years old and she did not want to be a single mother because the baby daddy refused to want to step up. He told her to get rid. But instead of getting rid, she decided to continue with the pregnancy and then gave up Larry for adoption, which I think is an amazing thing to do. I mean, giving a child for adoption is definitely better than abortion. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm against abortion. I'm just saying that it is a better choice than abortion, because there are many people in this world who cannot have children but are built to be the best parents possible. And for those people to become parents, they can only adopt a baby or adopt a child, depending on what age they're looking for. So for her to give up Larry, I commend that. Now, don't get me wrong. There is always the situation where sometimes you can give up your child for adoption to the wrong people, but you're to never to know that. That's something, that's not a burden that you live with, right? But either way though, that's one reason why I disagree with this person, because Kim already told us why. So I do wonder if this person even saw the show. But also on top of that, even if it was the case where Kimberly did give up Larry because of the fact that he was in service, you don't make the same mistake twice with kids. Okay, Larry would have been one, but doing it again with your daughter as well? Come on now. We can't forget that. So really and truly, people kind of need to pay attention a bit more. But either way though, let's continue here with some of the other things that were said. So to be fair, someone came in response and said, you made a valid point. So many people are anti-abortion, yet treat adoption as if it's just as bad. Which of course, like I've just said, it's not. Adoption is an amazing thing, because not everybody can have children. Hell, it's crazy how the wrong people can literally have about 4, 5, 6, 10 bloody kids, but then the best people just can't even have one. So yeah, adoption is definitely a great thing, if you ask me personally. Make up your minds, people. I think it's less about the actual decision, just hating a woman for her life choices, regardless of her decision. I don't think there's a huge difference between Kimberly, what Kimberly has done, and what Jasmine is doing. One is the best interest of child, the other, the best interest of the parent at the time, at the expense of the child. I have no problem associating Jasmine behavior with abandonment, I'm not going to sensationalize whatever led Kim to those decisions. She's Catholic, right? Here's the thing, folks, okay? This is basically, it depends on how you want to see the situation. Comparing Jasmine and Kimberly is just crazy to me, personally. Because you see, first and foremost, they speak about how they felt as if, one was making the choice because of the best interest of the child. Which, don't get me wrong, when Kimberly gave up Larry for adoption, yeah, I can agree. I can agree that she's 21. She said, this is not the life that I want for myself right now. Nor will I be able to be here and provide for my child. So you know what? I'm going to do that. So yeah, she did make a choice for her best interest. 100%. 100%. But she didn't do it twice. Do it once is acceptable. Doing it twice is crazy because you're playing with kids here. You're playing with lives here. Now, when it comes to Jasmine herself in particular, I guess this person's only really talking about Matilda. Obviously, since Matilda's been born, Jasmine has definitely been using that baby to, gain some money. But at the same time, we know Jasmine also has other kids in Panama. The only difference is that the kids in Panama, they do know who their parents are. Okay, that's not a secret. Just that obviously one of them has fled the country and come to the United States. And also on top of that, it's not like Jasmine was in a position where she gave away her children. So for me personally, comparing the two, it's way too far stretched. It's definitely reaching. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe these conversations belong in the same kind of circle. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyway, either way though, like I said before, when it comes to Kimberly, Larry was one, but doing it with 2 kids is absolutely insane. Now, of course, the first person did say that I understand why she kept it a secret. She had every right to keep it a secret. So this is where I contest that. Here's the thing. If you are the parent who is adopted a child, children who have been adopted know that they've been adopted. Okay. Now, of course, when it comes to the identity of their biological parents, they have every right to not ever tell because, well, they don't have to. They sign a contract that this child is now our child, and we are now going to raise a child as if we gave birth to this child. Even if that child even has siblings that are biological parents, they get raised the way they get raised. Okay. So they have the option. But of course, if the child wants to ask the question, have you ever spoken to my parents? Do you know who they are? In that situation, really and truly, I would say that the biological parents, in my humble opinion, are better off, the adopted parents are better off telling the truth. Say, yes, I have spoken to your parents, or no, I haven't spoken to your parents. Because if you keep the secret, it burns. For anybody that is seeing the show, This Is Us, okay, you will know what happened, okay, when my man finally found out that his mom knew his whole life, or that his adopted mom knew she knew his whole life who his father was, but deprived the father from actually ever meeting his son. Which again, her doing that, fully understood it. But for her to not tell her son the whole time he was growing up was just crazy business. Especially given the fact that he was a black boy living in a white family. And there was a lot of things that he just didn't understand, and he just needed to understand by connecting with other black people, or at least find out who his biological family was. Do you see what I'm saying? So of course, when he found out, literally at the age of 40 or 35 or something like that, it completely burnt him. For 35 odd years, his mum lied to him, didn't tell him the truth, and it hurt. Do you see what I'm saying? So here we got a situation with Jamal. Why was there a similarity? But you see, with Jamal here, you see, he found out that he had a sister at the age of 12. At that moment in time, when he was 12 years old, when he found out he had a sister, why did his mom not tell him that he also had a brother? In fact, I still want to know what happened with the information of him finding out that he had a sister. Was he then able to go and reach out? What happened with that? Did Kim then lie and suppress the information? Because the whole time Kimberly and Jamal have been on the show, they've always portrayed it as Jamal has been her only child. Unless they've always said he's always been her only son, then that can make it technical a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Either way, though, the whole time it has never been shown to us that he had a sister. So I am curious about how that conversation went down. So again, people say that it was a good secret to have. No, at the end of the day, she decided to give up a child for the right reasons. But Jamal still had the right to know at some point in his life before he was 30 years of age that he had a freaking older brother that was biologically his brother, full-blooded. The sister, I don't know if she is full-blooded his sister, but I'm going to go off the women and assume that she is, because sometimes it tells me that she is the middle child. But if she's not the middle child, it's hard to believe that she's the younger one, because Jamal would have been there to see his mom pregnant, give birth, blah, 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 blah. And also, why would she be happy to keep Jamal around, but then get rid of a baby that she's had after Jamal? Because even that, then that would be even more messed up. Let's really think about these folks, right? Now, Here's the thing. When it comes to Kimberly herself in particular, a photo was then uploaded of herself with Larry. Larry! I like the name Larry, man. It's a cool name. Larry! Yo, what's going on, Larry? If I had an older brother called Larry, yo, Larry! Mike Larry! Sorry. I'm doing too much. Anyway, so as you can see, someone put in, she has a son pictured and a daughter that she gave up for adoptions. From the post, she sounds like the daughter might have taken it harder than the son. And to be honest with you, there's a chance that she did. There is a chance, but to be fair, yeah, they definitely look alike. She's got the Kimberly nose, you know what I mean? So he's got the Kimberly nose. Yeah, he looks more like Kimberly than Jamal looks like Kimberly. Not gonna lie to you folks. Then again, he's the oldest, so maybe that's how it began. You know what I'm saying? Either way, though, we continue. So here, somebody says, obviously, I think Kimberly dropped the biggest secret bomb of the show's ever seen. So let's continue and see what else is being said here, folks. So Kim seems like she's dealt with a lot in life and come out the other side super strong. I'm not saying I think she's perfect, but she does seem like a sweet woman, and I hope life brings her happiness and joy. You know what, though? Sometimes I sit and I say to myself, what do people see? What are you talking about? How can you say that she's somebody who's come out the stronger on the other side? Somebody who seems like a sweet person? Do people forget that we saw her literally fly to Nigeria and beg a man to sleep with her, to beg a man to sleep in the same bed as her, to beg a man to want to actually marry her? Do we forget that she was in Nigeria with a man that literally told her that she needs to get a tummy tuck, she needs to fix her walk, and she's still stuck around? Are we forgetting that she literally turned up to, not Nigeria, so to Zanzibar to meet Usman, okay, with an iPad, or a Mac, as well as a PS5 for a man that wasn't even actually her man? He was nothing but just a friend. In fact, to Usman, she was just a super fan. He was. To his friends, she was just a super fan. This is what I'm saying. The same woman who arrived and booked a honeymoon suite. You think that's a sweet person? You're crazy. You think that's a strong person? You're crazy. You are utterly crazy. And here's the thing, in my opinion, a strong person would have told her son a very, very long time ago that, hey, by the way, you've got siblings. Do what you will with that information. I just want to let you know, son, you have got a brother that I gave up for adoption. I don't know where he's at. I don't even know his name. But I'm just letting you know that if he was to ever appear in our lives, this is the situation. But people also forget this very key thing here. Jamal categorically sat there and said that, and said to Kimberly, if Larry had never reached out to you, you probably would have never told me. In fact, I know you wouldn't have told me. And also on top of that, she catfished her own son, Larry, with Jamal's face, with Jamal's image. That's effed up on different levels. No sweet person does that. No person that comes out on the stronger side does that. I have no idea why people have a problem with it. If you don't have the means financially or mentally to raise a child kind of thing. Here's the thing. This is the problem with people understand. All of this stuff makes sense, but people are forgetting the context around the situation. Nobody has an issue with the fact that she gave, I know that I don't have an issue with the fact that she gave up Larry for adoption if she felt like she wasn't ready. I mean, she then ended up doing the thing, but then doing the same thing to the daughter was just wild to me. But again, if she still felt like she wasn't ready, well, use contraception, for goodness sake. Contraception is a thing. But then again, somebody claims that maybe her religion said that she doesn't do it. But I beg to differ there. She probably does use contraception. Let's just call it spade for spade. Otherwise, she would have had so many kids. Maybe she does have more kids, and we just don't know about it. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, contraception is a real thing, folks. So doing it once is one thing. Doing it twice is crazy business. Two first kids both gone for adoption. What the hell are you doing with your life? People are forgetting the context around this. All right? But at the end of the day, the biggest issue with this situation isn't the fact that Kimberly gave up her kids for adoption. But there's nothing wrong with that. The biggest issue is that she kept it a secret from her only son. Someone said here, my mum gave birth to a child in 1972. They destroyed her and threatened to take my oldest brother. After my mum passed away, I contacted the adoption agency. They apologized over and over again for the way she was treated. In addition, I have met my brother and he is thankful my mum and it hurt him. She passed before I found him. He loves her even still. It makes me sick when people judge adoption mums. It's crazy though, because again, why are people ranting about adoptions? That's not the big issue here. It's not even an issue in any shape or form, to be honest with you. just a second child, to be fair. Anyway, more of the situation is there is still more to come because the season itself in particular has only just begun. We're only in episode 1 and we are going to be meeting Larry on the show. And that's another thing that's a big issue. The fact that she's actually allowing Larry to come on the show is crazy busy, because I promise you now, this very first season he's going to come on the show, he's probably going to come in looking good. People are going to love him. People are going to be like, oh, you know what, Larry's this, that, da, 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 da. But if he ever comes back for another season, you know it's about to go south, right? It happened to Jamal. It'll happen again. I can promise you that. So if I was Larry, I would have never gone on the show, to be honest with you. Maybe one day he was watching 90 Day Fiance, or maybe if he's got a wife or whatnot, she was watching it and she was like, that woman looks like you, you know? Well, I am adopted, you know? Maybe there's my mom. Oh, maybe I can get on the show by contacting her. I doubt that happened. I hope that didn't happen, because goddamn, why would you want to do that? Did you not see her seasons? I wouldn't have claimed her as my mother after I saw what she did on TV. Are you crazy? But anyway, just to finish off the video in a very funny way, someone made a very interesting, funny joke here regarding Jamal. Said, this fool straight up went shopping in his mum's kitchen. I can't with him. It's one thing to come over and take some leftovers, or come by cause you need a missing ingredient. But this fool came over to get some groceries. Guess he's not making enough money with the bad boy videos. To be fair, someone did say, I'm convinced he lives with her. Every time they are filmed together, one of them mentions that he doesn't live with his mama, Kimberly. I mean, listen, to be fair, I don't know. Maybe he's living with his mum, but to be fair, if anything, maybe he's living with the bad boys. Who knows? Either way, though, either way. But there's also the other side. Maybe he rang his mum and said, Mum, I need you, if you're going to the shop today, can you please get me these things? Or maybe his mum rang him or messaged, hey, by the way, I'm going to the shops. Did you need anything? So let's not make assumptions, you know what I mean? These groceries that were bought, literally, the mum could have asked him, did he want some? Or he could have asked her, this, that, Sam. But at the same time, if he did come over just to pick up groceries that his mum bought off the whim, you know what? Good on him, man. He deserves to take whatever he wants after what she's done. God damn. She's indebted to him now for the rest of her life. That's for sure. Her and the rest of the kids. But here's the thing, though. We don't know nothing about the sister. And I hope we don't see the sister on the show. I hope the sister never gets revealed in general, to be honest with you. Because you don't need the headache of being exposed to reality TV. That's just the reality of it. You see what I'm saying? But Larry's about to find out potentially. With that being said, though, thank you so much for your time. And it is early in the season, so let's see what else happens. And maybe our opinions will change. But either way, I'm out. Peace.